There are a host of issues to consider when two regions decide to engage in business. Issues ranging from corporate governance, due diligence, and barriers to market entry. This episode of Access Africa promises to be very informative. Stay with us as we find out more about the Afro-Nordic collaboration. My name is Yelang Prue Jinka. As an independent company of specialists offering a range of business-to-business services, Springboard advises clients, both African and Nordic, on strategic decisions which have implications for business development and investment opportunities. They bring together professionals from diverse disciplines with complementary skills. Whilst many may claim to know local markets, these specialists hold dear to the idea that there is no such thing as a market. There are only people, and they know the people. Knowing the people means knowing their customs, religions, needs, hopes, and expectations. It means knowing how to do business between the Nordic region and Africa. Springboard is an establishment that prides itself on their vision to bring Africa and the Nordic nations together through the vehicle of business. Suvi Ify is the head of operations, and we speak to her about their undertaking. Suvi, what inspired the decision to bring Africa and the Nordic nations together?
The growth on the continent is full of business potential, but what we are lacking here in the Nordics are the numbers. And compared to Africa, our population sizes are minuscule. So in terms of business and growth, Africa is a land of opportunities for the Finnish companies.
Now, what has the response to Springboard's initiative been?
In Finland, businesses have embraced us and our vision. On the other hand, in Africa, companies have warmly welcomed us to the continent.
Can you shed some light on what the intercultural challenges that businesses may encounter when doing business with the Nordic region?
Finnish business decision makers are very time conscious. The Western countries know the time, but they do not have time. And what we have to understand here in the Nordics, business etiquette is different. Things may require a bit more time, but once those bonds are created, business can and will take place.
Finland has a very unique approach to education. It is the thread which runs through the fabric of Finnish society. The Ministry of Education has set a target for the nation to become the leading country in science and research by 2017. What could bring them close to achieving this target, you may ask? Well, if one combines innovation, technology, and education, then you would come up with InnoCampus, an idea that was initially a small local concept whose goal is to create a connection between upper secondary school students, businesses, and universities. Kim, won't you tell me what role technology plays in Finland?
Now, in the last 5 years, technology has been a very big part of Finnish companies, and the Finnish startup companies are very famous around the world, and the whole Finnish startup community is very famous. We have the big slush events, and digitalization is all over, and that's one of the biggest things for Finnish future is to be digitalized all over, and all the new companies and startups, clean tech, health tech, everything has to do with digitalization and that kind of technology. So it's the future. We are very good in that kind of field in Finland, but we should go much more to other countries and abroad. We are staying too much in our own country with this side of community.
So with that being said, could you tell me briefly what your company is about?
Inna Campus, we are a 3-year-old company. We have a model with students and that kind of crowd innovation. And when we started 3 years ago, it was more that our students wanted to learn how to innovate. And they had a lot of own ideas. And that was, we did the first 2 years. But since like 18 months, 1.5 years ago, we started to take more challenges from companies. And that has grown very fast. It's marketing, it's sales, it's social media, it's new products, it's new concepts, and it's from every area in the community. Transportation, mobile operators and food companies, and they want to know what's the future railway services, the future food, what's the future. These students, which are now in the age 16 to 25, they have a lot of ideas what it should be and what they need, because they are born with technology.
Won't you tell me what the perspective of a student would be, and in terms of the benefits of this concept?
The people after me are going to do the same things and get the experience like me and be much more readier to the future and for the work life, and much more open to the ideas and innovations. So there might be more startups, more companies coming from the young people.
Fuzu is a career development and employment platform for emerging markets, both for the job seekers as well as then for the employers. So it's a very different type of service than your traditional job portals and so on. We really try to help the job seekers at every step of the way in realizing who they are, what are the different career options that might be out there, and how to actually then build skills and competencies and finally to find that job that actually matches with your particular profile and skills. And then on the employer side, what we try to do, we try to help the employers to find that needle in the haystack by facilitating that selection process and the testing of the candidates, and really making it much faster and much more affordable for the employers to find the right type of candidates out of the hundreds or even thousands sometimes that are applying for particular positions. So basically we started our journey from East Africa, particularly Kenya. And the reason why we chose Kenya as our starting point was that Kenya is a very good proxy for all of the sub-Saharan Africa. South Africa would not be that good because South African market, of course, is quite different from the rest of the sub-Saharan market. So we started from Kenya, soon to start our expansion to East Africa, and then we go to West Africa, as well as at the same time we go to Southern Africa. So we have already several projects ongoing in preparing the expansion. But it's very important that we scale rapidly because our intention is to touch the lives of tens of millions of people over the coming few years.
Finns are globally known for new and innovative ways of solving problems. This is exactly what the team at Springboard are passionate about promoting. Join me in conversation with Kingsley Ify, the man behind the vision. Kingsley, on September 22nd, all roads will lead to Helsinki. Please tell us about that.
Well, this is the very most exciting time because for a very long time in this country, there haven't been anything of this nature. We are putting together the Nordic and the Africans to actually sit on one roof to talk about trade, which of course has been a long time waiting. In a nutshell, I think it's about building relationship, it's about building trade, it's about tapping into new opportunity that is mostly needed in Africa. Ethically creating jobs for locals is something that we're very, very excited about.
What can the delegates who will be attending expect from the conference?
This is an opportunity for you to build a cross-border trade relationship with the purest, the most humble people on this planet. In fact, they will be glad to participate.
What is the vision for Africa and the Nordic nations going forward?
Our vision is very simple. We just want to create openings between the two regions, between Africa and the Nordic countries. If you think about my own very background, Finland and this region have given me almost everything. I'm looking back now thinking, how can I contribute? If you're looking for a book to read and it seems that it hasn't been written, at some point you must have to start thinking on how to write those books yourself. So this is the main idea behind Springboard, behind our vision. What I've come to realize that there is something unique about the Nordic country. They're so different. There's ethics in forefront of everything they do. So that for me is very, very important. For our continent to grow, for Africa to develop, it has something much more to do with African rising in narrative. African rising narrative is nothing without anyone being actually concretely taking those steps to make sure that there is laws in place, that the system is supporting businesses. And this is all what we're passionate about promoting in Springboard.
7 out of 10 of the world's fastest growing economies are in Africa. Finland and the rest of the Nordic countries would do well to capitalize on that growth. With that said, we look forward to having your organization at the African Nordic Conference. For more details, visit the website on your screen. From me, Yelang Prue Jinka, thank you for watching Access Africa. Until next time.